Hey guys, what's going on? It's Lewis here, and in today's video, I want to go over how I use my journal to basically structure my life, maximize my productivity, and make sure I'm getting the right things done. I've read a lot of books on personal development, and pretty much across the board, everyone who's about improving their lives recommends journaling. So if you journal or you want to start journaling, definitely give this video a thumbs up and let me know if you like my method or if there's anything you change by leaving a comment below after you finish watching the video. So in my last video, I talked about how to live your best life by creating a vision and an action plan. Well, I figured I might as well make a quick follow-up video going over how I journal because they really go hand in hand. And I'll also share with you my favorite done for you already journal that has a lot of these steps already written down and already written out, so that could save you a lot of time and a lot of effort in case you don't want to go through all of the steps that I do for my journal. Okay, so right in front of me, I have my stack of mostly black moleskin journals. These are the journals that I use. They're really good quality. They have a hardcover, a strap to keep the journal closed, and a nice string to bookmark whatever page you want. And now you don't have to use these particular journals, but if you want to, I'll have a link down below in the description. Now there's definitely a process that I go through when I journal. It's not just something to write in whenever I have inspiration or want to write something down, although I do use it for that. For me, my journal is what I use to know what I'm going to be doing with my life. It's my daily and my weekly planner, along with where I stash my notes and my ideas. But the first things that I do when writing out my goals and structuring out my day actually takes place on my computer. That's where I write down everything that I talked about in my previous video, things like my perfect day, my ultimate vision, my why, and my identity. And I also have my top 1 to 3 big things that I'm working on for the next 12 weeks, along with my weekly blueprint, which is a weekly overview of what I want to accomplish. And all of that is on my computer in what I like to call the life journal. My physical journal is what I use to merge my big goals and my weekly blueprint in with my day-to-day life. And this is how I use it. At the beginning of each week, I write down my top 1 to 3 big goals that I want to accomplish over the next 3 months. Then I write my top 1 to 5 tasks for goal number 1 that I want to accomplish this week. I'll then write out my top 1 to 5 tasks for goal number 2 that I want to accomplish this week. And then I'll write out my top 1 to 5 tasks for goal number 3 that I want to accomplish this week. Whichever task will get you closer to your big goal the fastest is the one that should come first. And as a side note, if you feel like having 3 big goals is too overwhelming, which I totally get, it definitely can be, then I recommend sticking to just 1 big goal for the next 3 months and writing down the 1 to 5 tasks that you could accomplish this week for that 1 goal. You don't have to have 3 really big goals that you want to accomplish over the next 12 weeks. It's that I just have no responsibilities and way too much time on my hand, so I want to get everything done that I could possibly get done. But I know a lot of people can't really afford to do that because they have so much going on in their lives. So if you do have a lot of responsibilities, just stick to 1 big major defining goal and write out the 1 to 5 top tasks that you could complete for the week for that 1 goal. Now, once I have my most important tasks written out for the week, what I like to do is to take 1 task from that list and put it on my calendar so that I have 1 task to complete every single day. And as long as I'm getting that 1 task done, I'm making progress and I'm happy. And if I go over here and zoom in a little bit, you could actually see that I have all of my tasks for the week written out, starting with how I journal for productivity today, along with my weighted dollar cost averaging best investment strategy video for tomorrow, another analysis video for my cryptocurrency, crypto elite group, another video, and then a few other tasks to complete. That is how I structure my week, or at least that's one part of it, and now we could go on to the next parts. After I know what tasks I will be doing during the week, and I wrote them down on each day of the calendar, I move to a fresh page and I start my daily journal. Here, I start out writing the date at the top, and then under the date, I write down 3 things I'm grateful for. I call this section the 3 Gs. Under that, I write down my 1 thing. I call this section TOT, which stands for the 1 thing. Following my 1 thing a day rule, as long as I accomplish this 1 thing, I feel good about myself, and of course, my 1 thing is an actual task that brings me closer to my ultimate goal. Underneath my TOT, I have a section for other things that I want to get done that day. These are important tasks, urgent tasks, mundane tasks, basically everything that I want to do other than the one thing that I will definitely do. I just call this section other things to get done. Underneath that section is when I start to track my day. This is something that I used to do, then fell out of, and recently started doing again. And I'll tell you, it makes a huge difference when I actually write down when I start something, put a timer on, and then track how long it takes me to do it. Doing this is a great way to really take an honest look at how you spend your time. And I could almost guarantee that if you track every single hour of your day, you'll be amazed at how much time is actually wasted doing dumb things that aren't even bringing you any closer to your goals. Imagine tracking your day and seeing that you spent an hour and a half scrolling through Instagram, 30 minutes on Facebook, an hour on Tinder, and 2 hours watching TikTok videos. That's 5 hours of your time. That's 5 hours of not actually creating anything. Do this every day for a week, and that's 35 hours of missed productivity in 1 week. That's 140 hours every single month. Even with a job that pays 10 bucks an hour, that's 1,400 bucks every single month. And look, I know you probably don't spend that much time on TikTok or Instagram, but this is actually something that I used to do. And once I started tracking my time and seeing how much time I spent just scrolling through and consuming content without creating anything, it definitely helped to motivate me to start being the producer instead of the consumer. All right, let's go back to the journal. So I have 3 things I'm grateful for. The one thing I will get done that day, other things I would like to accomplish after I get done with my one thing, then my day that I write out as I go through it. At the end of the day, I jot down my wins, which are the things that I got done that day, and I always make sure to have some space for notes. A lot of times the notes will be on the second page, and if I don't write much on it for that particular day, I have extra room to write more things later on if I ever need some extra space. Finally, at the end of each week, I have my weekly review where I write down this week I accomplished, and then I write down the list of tasks that I accomplished, and then I write down this week I did not accomplish, and I write down the stuff that I did not accomplish, and I wrote down because, and that's basically where you explain why didn't you accomplish them. And then I also have a few more questions that I like to answer, which is my work often gets interrupted by, and my work and or study habits are much better when and this week I learned, and I will ensure I'll have a great week next week by ... And that just about sums up how I use my journal for maximum productivity. There was a lot involved, but I have to say that the clarity and the focus that it gives me is definitely worth it. And knowing what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and why you're doing it, it is so much better to do it that way versus just breezing through life with no real direction. And if you don't want to actually write down all of the different things that I wrote down in my blank journal, there's actually a done for you journal that has 80% of what I just talked about pre-written into it. And if you have this journal, then you were probably thinking that, what I was writing down in mine was super familiar. And that's because I took a lot of inspiration from this little guy right here, which is called the Productivity Planner. Productivity Planner has weekly reviews, weekly planning, quotes, day-to-day scheduling, and allows you to measure your productivity every single day. This planner is amazing and I highly recommend it. And that's gonna do it for this video. If you learned anything new, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Remember, you're awesome, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.